Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23, and it is now time for our Silverstone test, part of the MotoGP 23 career mode. And as you know, so far this season has been absolutely stupendous. Brilliant racing all the way through, but mostly we have been very dominant. So as far as I'm concerned, this is quite an important test because the last time we were in Jerez, our bike took a step backwards, only slightly, but it was enough to make all the other teams gain a lot more improvement. So I think for us today in this test, we need to just decipher between the two packages and decide which bike we want to use from now on, as Maverick Vinales comes out of the pit and gets right in our way. But cast your eyes over to the right hand side of the screen and you will see the two packages we have available here today. Spec A is what we're currently on. This will be in the usual red liveried Ducati, and of course looking at the engine power, control fuel delivery is a 10, and this is where I've been harkering on about for quite a while now. I talked about it in the Jerez test that we lost controlled fuel delivery 10 and we ended up going backwards to about 8 or 9, and it just wasn't as good. So I have got a lot of high hopes on this particular package because I need that acceleration like we've had at the start of the season. It was absolutely amazing. So I definitely hope this package can certainly help us out. Now, on the flip side, it's still having a positive side with the fact of having improvements to handling, improvements to aerodynamic penetration. Excellent, really looking positive. Of course, you can't see the differences from the previous package, but what I can tell you is that looking at it, engine power will take a knock. Control fuel delivery goes up to 10, stability stays the same at 10, handling moves up to 6, aerodynamic load stays the same at 8, but penetration goes up to 10 and the electronics development also stays to 10. And as you can see, even with Spec B, very similar. Now, I mentioned this in the previous video, but I also had a comment saying that you must make your preference known before you start the test, which I absolutely did. I doubled down on controlled fuel delivery, and it's still sort of focused more on handling, so I'm not entirely sure how it works within the career mode. But our first lap complete, and it's a 1:58.073. Not great, but to be honest, we were put off a little bit with Maverick, and I'm not quite up to speed yet. I've been doing some Moto 3, I did some videos a few days ago, so we'll see how I managed to get used to the bike again. But so far so good. It still feels like the Ducati have been winning multiple races on. Of course, if you haven't seen the rest of my series, and this is maybe your first video of the episodes, I would highly recommend you check out some of the other videos before watching this one, because it will spoil the results of many of the races relatively soon. So if you are new and you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't have to, but it does help the channel a lot. And yeah, with that in mind, I want to really get into the feeling of this bike and to start pushing. Looking at the engine power, knowing that that's dropped by 2 is a little bit concerning, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think mostly focusing on the actual control fuel delivery, which is is acceleration as well. Marc Marquez, top of the pile there with a 1:56.840. Now, the interesting part is, you may have seen this on my community post, but the Repsol Hondas flew up to the top of the table in the terms of team comparison. Ducati dropped down to about 4th, and we've just not looked all that right, to be honest, in the team's comparison, because even though that's happened, they haven't really made a big difference with all of the championship standings and all of the race results. So I still don't really know what's going on with the team's comparison. I would still say the Ducati feels by far the best motorcycle within MotoGP, whether real life or in this game, of course. But yeah, questionable that now Marc Marquez is at the top, and in fact he's actually going to go quicker, judging by his first split. We do manage to make an improvement and go up to 1:57.6. That puts us into 6th place. But the very interesting part there is that, you know what? I think that lap time's similar to last season, but I don't remember the AI jumping into the 56s so quickly. I think we're going to have to get into the 56 as well. I know we pushed hard for it in last year's test with the KTM when we were at this very circuit, We had those upgrades that we needed, and yeah, that really helped our championship aspirations. Couldn't get the job done on board the KTM, of course, but we were able to finish in second place in the MotoGP World Championship. We actually had a pretty terrific season with all things considered, and it was probably one of the best seasons I've ever recorded in a MotoGP career mode. It was a brilliant, brilliant time, it really was. So, looking at last year's results, we did manage to acquire 2 lap times in the 56s. So we're definitely going to have to go into the 56s, but last season, that was good enough to guarantee the testing champion. Not like that's actually a real thing, because if it was, the man ahead of us would have it. But to be honest, I've only just started catching up to Maverick. Now, in the race, they aren't usually as fast as what he's demonstrated so far in the early stages of this test, but he's looking rather solid. On board the Aprilia is Maverick Vinales, the number 12. But into the right-hander now. I know the AI will go slow into the penultimate corner. That's where I made a lunge on Enea Bastianini last season to try and get the victory, but didn't work out, as Vinales, look at him there, just messing up a little bit, making me nervous actually, so I do hope he moves out of the way soon. But this will be the lap time to put us close to the 56s again. Not bad. Just getting up to speed. That's okay. It's alright. It's not too much of a problem as Jack Miller just goes down somewhere on the circuit. It's hard to say exactly where. But now with Maverick still ahead of us, he's actually going to begin to get in my way here. Plan was to just do 4 laps with a medium front, medium rear. The medium duo has gone well so far. But we have had Maverick to sort of pursue and chase as we get a red sector going into the first couple of corners there. So we come out of the loop and then into the left-hander, and now up to here. You can see the speed that RSGP had for absolutely nowhere. The Aprilia is looking excellent. And this doesn't usually happen in my winter test or Jerez test or Silverstone test, where we actually see the AI. We do tend to spend a lot of time just riding on our own. Now in the Jerez test we had some very bonkers moments where Fabio Quartararo decided to make a lunge, but still struggling in that second split. I don't think it's a case of me struggling into the second split. I do feel the AI far superior in split number 2, but here into sector 3, going into Maggots and Beckett's, we do claw back a lot of time. And this lap time, yeah, look at that, 0.6 of a second pulled back against the AI. That's how critical that point is on the circuit. And now out of the left-hander coming out of Chapel, you see the actual power of the Ducati Desmond Sedici GP23 just flying past the Aprilia. This particular Italian motorcycle is clearly the stronger in the straights. Not like you didn't know that already, but ladies and gentlemen, this could be a 0.4 of a second improvement to put us into the 56s, and more importantly, to put us top of the pile in this official British test. Into the right hand side and across the line. It's marvellous. It is top spot. So those are 4 very solid lap times with, or at least 4 solid lap times of understanding Spec A. Let's compare it now to Spec B, because I won't lie to you, it has been a couple of days since I last really played MotoGP career mode, so I want to test both of them to really feel what, to get that feeling and that sensation of what feels good. And I've got to say, Spec B, this feels nippy. It feels quick and rapid. Wow, and there's a night and day difference between these motorcycles. I know this sort of happened last time, maybe even in the Jerez test ever so slightly, but sometimes one of the specs just screams out at you, and this instantly feels better. Still running the same tyre wear, still running the same tyre, should I say, and still very much got the same bike. It's just the only difference is that we've just got a different package. This feels incredible. Look at the gap. Look at that time we're finding already in just the second sector on the first lap with Spec B. Of course, Spec B specs are on the right hand side of your screen, so take a look at those and see what you think. And I don't know whether it's that additional number into handling that has made the difference, or if it's the fact that the controlled fuel delivery and engine power are both balanced on 9. Whatever it is, this is working marvellously. It feels fantastic. I'm not the biggest advocate of power setting 3. I always want to drop it down to power setting 2. I find it's just a bit too twitchy sometimes. But I'll be honest, even with power setting 3 right now, this feels fantastic. We've gained 0.3 of a second, almost 4 now. Thank goodness Luca Marini moved out of the way, because he's probably going to impede my progress into the Vale corner. Very tight to the apex of the left-hander there, and a bit too tight to curve 17. Just cutting over the sausage curb there. It certainly lost us a lot of time. Yes, it did. Across the line. It's a new fastest lap for me, but that small mistake, yeah, that certainly cost us. A little bit twitchy there on the right-hand side there. Shouldn't have upshifted so soon, or so late, should I have said. As we go into the right-hander for the village corner. This is turn 3. Now into the loop for turn 4. Tight to the apex. Wait for the moment and then get on the power. Okay, so it's not quite working out, but it still feels excellent. And if we're within 1/10 of a second again here, provided we don't make the same mistake into the final couple of corners into Sector 4, then we're definitely going to have a significantly better lap time than Jack Miller. Interesting top 8. Good to see Marquez up there. Jack Miller in the current top spot on board the Red Bull KTM. Of course, the KTM that I helped develop last season, of course. In an excellent situation. And Jack Miller still in second place in the World Championship, if I'm not mistaken. He's around 80 points behind. Still very much game on. Of course, Pecco Bagnaia recovered a 90.1 championship lead. Maybe Jack Miller can do the same. I hope he doesn't, because I'm the victim at that point. But into Maggots and Beckett's end, we're still losing a couple of tenths of a second, but I'm not worried, because I think as long as we go into the final corner, get it right, this should put us top without any doubt or question. I've got to say, initial reactions are Spec B. This bike feels really good. It's hard to... I always find it hard to explain what it is that I feel that I can just say to you, yeah, that works. Of course, I'd still run default setup, the default gearing, nothing has changed. It's simply just the different bike from Spec A to Spec B. But out to the right-hander there, still not an improvement, but 2 lap times in a row, both in the 156s. Good. I think last season we probably, as I said, I think we only had 2 56s while the rest were all 57s or in some cases 58s. But the best way I can explain it to you is that just getting on the power feels smooth. I don't find myself really balancing or bouncing the throttle to try and keep the bike stable. I feel like the movement going into corners is a lot more nimble. I've said it before, we need that nimbility. I know it's not a real word, but I like using it. Nimbility and stability into some of these corners, and you know what? Yeah, package B, I think it is for me. I'm rhyming accidentally. I'm very much enjoying this test. This feels really worthwhile. As I say, it's probably been a good couple of days since I recorded this particular career mode. I've had a lot of stuff on. Done some other videos as well to try and keep the channel and content fresh. And yet here we are, back into the test, feeling like I've had a summer's break. Straight back to it, with hopefully good results in the Grand Prix coming this week. Might even drop it tomorrow. If depending how well this test goes, I might drop the Silverstone race tomorrow, just so we're right on it. I am tempted to do that. I'll get recording all of it tomorrow if I can. Well, I'll do it tonight actually, so yeah, I'll have it done. I'll have it done in whatever day this will be uploaded, I don't know, but it'll be at some point in April. So if you're watching, shout out to you from the past. Here is me right now. But here we go into the penultimate corner. This is the Vale corner. This is the curve of 17. Actually, that is the penultimate corner. I keep getting that wrong. Club corner is the final corner, and this one is the one to go into to take over at the top with a 56.337. That is absolutely no doubt, no question, our fastest lap time set here in MotoGP 23 career mode. And of course, yet again, it courtesy of the GP23 Ducati. It's an absolute beast, isn't it? And we're still finding time. And as I say, The difference between Spec A was I felt like I was pushing. Spec B just feels like I'm just doing it natural. I feel like everything is just cooking on gas right now. No difference on the left-hand side, still status quo, but good to see Jorge Martin back up there into the top 6. I don't know why, but this game really doesn't appreciate Jorge Martin. He frequently doesn't finish well, and in my career mode I don't think he's ever actually finished a championship very high up, so I don't know what the reason is, but clearly Martin not getting the love that he deserves. Well, on to the right-hander then. This is the Copse corner as we now go into the left-hand side for Maggots, back across into the right-hander there. Just staying within track limits and finding ourselves a couple of tenths of a second. This should be another one. You know what? If we're that close now to 155 with the medium combination tyres, what could happen when I change over in a minute? Because I'm going to change over, probably to go for the hard front, medium rear. The only options available are the soft front, medium front or hard front, which I think medium or hard front is absolutely fine. But for the rear, it's just medium or hard, and I don't see a point going for the hard rear. So as far as I'm concerned, let's get this lap done. This is going to be another improvement. Oh, just lost a bit of time. Maybe it won't be an improvement, but it'll be close. Across the line, not an improvement, but let's try again. So, I've made a decision. I'm not going to jump onto Spec A because I don't think it's necessary. I think Spec B is the bike for me, and I think this is going to be probably a theme now for the rest of the season. In fact, there's no more tests after this one anyway, so this bike here is my decision. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to double down now. I'm going to prove to you why when we try and get into the 55s. This video doesn't end until we get into a 155. And to be honest, it could end up pretty quickly actually, because I don't think it's going to take us that long as we got really tight to the apex there, spinning up the rear going into the loop. We had 3 tenths of a second. I think we even had 4 for a brief moment, but I do believe that was the deltas being a little bit misleading. But we're still up. A hard front now. I should be able to give me a little bit more stability in the corners. So if I do want to get a little bit braver on the brakes, I guess I can. It's a prime example of these tough braking points from Brooklands there to Luffield. A lot of these are very tight apexes that you can go quite hard upon the brakes. Quick upshift to third gear there seemed to have helped quite a bit, as you can see already. A few additional tenths of a second gained already, a bit deep into the Copse corner on the brakes. But we found 2.5 tenths. I only need 4 tenths, that's all it is. Well, not even that really, 3.5 tenths to be honest. If I find 3.5 tenths, we get in the 155s. And it's almost there. This bike feels terrific. Oh, it's going to be me gushing over this Ducati again. I do apologise. It's getting quite common now in these DrAce MotoGP career mode videos. My goodness. Oh, a little bit deep there for Stowe though. That's ruined it, hasn't it? It has ruined it. We're down to 2.5 tenths of a second. My mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Got a little bit confident into the corner that caught out Marco Bezzecchi last season. Of course, getting sucked into the slipstream of Pecco Bagnaia and then binning the bike into the right-hander. But across the line, that is a new lap record for me here in MotoGP 23 career mode. That is the 56.2. Fastest man in the official test. And we are still pursuing that 155 lap time. Tight to the apex, goes to the right-hander for the village corner. Now into the loop. I am able to go a bit hard on the brakes, and that does feel really solid. Don't feel like I need to panic about going onto the brakes. To be honest, I've not really felt that with any point of the Ducati. It just feels absolutely stunning. And then onto the brakes, I'm going to try and... Oh, I shouldn't have downshifted there. That's a small mistake. But I don't think it's cost us. Staying in third gear now to try it again. 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths of a second found. Yeah, this is it. This has got to be it. This lap time, surely. Into the right-hander for Woodcup. Ooh, 2.5 tenths found. Onto the right again, this time for Copse. If we do get into the 155s, then ladies and gentlemen, Jack Miller, Marquez, Bastianini, Zarco, watch out. because I don't think you're going to be able to contend with this anymore. We're absolutely flying. Alex Rins is ahead of us now, but is he going to impede our progress? I don't think so. I think we should be able to get past on the number 42, and we do manage to relatively easy. And I've just realised something quite important here. As we get this brakes right here, this gap's going to be massive. Because on our fastest lap, we made that mistake, didn't we? So into the right-hander then. 0.3 of a second found. Is it going to go up to 4? It has gone up to 4. Could it? Oh, it's 0.6 of a second. Oh, look at this lap time coming in right now. Feast your eyes on this lap time here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is. It's a 55.801. Well, a pretty quick and easy test today, guys. I won't lie to you. I don't think there's anything else to me to learn and to push and to test here. Spec B all the way for me. Let's have a quick look at the lap times nonetheless. Did manage to get 10 laps done. Have a quick peek at Spec A, and those are those 4 laps. A bit unfair to judge, really, because of the small effort we had at the beginning. But absolutely, Spec B is the way to go. 55.7, every single lap time there within the 56s. Only a deviation of a second within 6 lap times. That works for me, and I think I've already made my choice, but I will leave the screen up a little bit longer for you guys so you can decide if you wanted to metaphorically choose, or hypothetically choose for me, I guess you could say. Because of course at this point I've already made my decision, and I'll already be on the next couple of videos by the time you're actually watching this one. So guys, I am going to choose Spec B, but before I end this video, I want to see what it's done to our team's comparison. So let's take a look together. So here we are at the team's comparison screen, and before you panic and start questioning everything, that why is Honda at the top, this is because it's the previous picture that I took from a couple of days ago, just after the Jerez test and before the Silverstone test. So let's together now take a look at the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, back on top. That is what I was looking for. Ducati Lenovo team, the top of the pile, looking beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. That is the bike that's going to win the MotoGP World Championship, I guarantee. Couple of changes in there as well, actually. Surprised to see the LCR Honda just drop completely behind the Idemitsu Honda. I think it was relatively close last time, but they seem to have dropped completely. Mooney VR46 still nowhere to be seen. I don't understand what's going on with them. They were right up there in the first season, but yeah, questions with no answers. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the video. I certainly hope you enjoyed today's Silverstone test. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Ciao for now. Oh, hi! Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.